Hallo kijkers, daar zijn we weer met een nieuwe aflevering van de Stanley Pepperball.
This isn't the right office, is it?
Wacht,
Is this Stanley's office?
wat? Hij zei iets heel anders dan dat hij normaal zei. Oké, maar in ieder geval, dan zijn we weer met een nieuwe aflevering. En vandaag hebben wij weer de Stanley Parable. De Stanley Parable. Bekend om de leukste game en de grappigste en wat de fuck is game. Weet je wat? We pakken gewoon een keertje de deur links. Very nice. Ja, la.
Single person here either.
Ja, ik weet het.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Wacht eens even. Ik ga naar beneden. Nou, dan gaan we lekker naar beneden toch. Ja, la. Wat is hier zo te bekennen? Hey, mooie auto.
Stanley
1
just
en 2.
couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk?
Lol.
All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled.
I'm
This is
dreaming.
all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Holy shit!
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so
What the hell?
fun, and Stanley marveled
This is
that he
weird.
was still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking?
Ja, wat wel?
Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought.
Wat
And
wel?
when he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his stomach,
Oh nee.
the press of the mattress on his back.
Jee, is lekker
The
slapen.
fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up.
He thought to himself.
I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing
Put
the buttons.
buttons.
Please.
Please. It's all I want.
I want my apartment and my wife
Oh.
and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal.
Everything will be fine.
I am
Okay. Hey, daar zijn we weer. Ik kan alleen... ik kan weer lopen. Nice.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Nou, wat zo random uit. And everything went black. Oké, wat gaat er gebeuren?
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Wow, dat ken ik niet.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work.
Hey, Stanley.
But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk.
What the fuck?
She would soon turn to go call for an ambulance. For just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people
Dus het is een droom.
And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal.
How lucky she was.
I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this. And in a certain way,
she was happy. Ze was blij dat ze normaal was.
Then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Nou, wat een mooi verhaal. Alleen, wat gaat er nu gebeuren? Gaat hij weer bij het begin? Ik hoop het niet. En hij is weer bij het begin. Nou jongens, dit was weer de aflevering voor vandaag. Doe een duimpje omhoog als je het leuk vond. Doe een duimpje omlaag als je dat geen leuke video vond. Maar doe dan wel wat feedback geven. Want ik ben heel slecht in Nederlands. Maar dat maakt niet uit. Dus jongens, dankjewel voor het kijken. Tot de volgende keer. Bye bye.